I'm bringing Booker Who back. I already shot this once, but I forgot to mention something, and yeah. Alright, Royal Rumble is the first show. So we're going to kick things off. Same as what pretty much most of this is exactly what happened. So I'll just run through it as quickly as I can. Tazz vs. Cat, Kurt Angle, Tazz goes over in his debut match. Women's title, this is the only real change here. The Cat versus Tori versus Ivory versus Jacqueline. One pinfall to a finish. Tori wins. She celebrates. Big thing. We can do a couple of cutscene in between the next match, which is the Hardy Boys table match. Matt and Jeff won that. Where she's celebrating with the belt with Kane. And he shows her his number, and we don't see it, but yeah, okay. I already mentioned the Hardy Boys match. Intercontinental, same as what happened. Chris Jericho versus Chyna versus Hardcore Holly. Jericho pins Chyna, thus ending that stupid thing. I actually did legitimately. I looked up to see if I could change that one thing. Outlaws versus the Acolytes. Road Dogg pins Bradshaw in hinky circumstances. WWF Title. Triple H versus Cactus Jack. Triple H wins. Oh, by the way, I want to mention this. The Royal Rumble should always end with the Royal Rumble. Simple reason is you don't want to wait through the whole Rumble to get to a title match. It's the only exception I have for that rule. The title match should always go on last. Unless it's a huge match, a huge deal like Rock and Hogan. Yeah, so Royal Rumble, Rock wins. Alright. No Way Out. Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle. For both the Intercontinental and European title. Kurt's putting the title on the line this time. He kind of gets manipulated into it. Kurt wins WWF Tag Team Title. Dudley Boyz versus New Age Outlaws. Yeah, and Bubba wins after they do the 3D on him. He gets the pin. Tazz versus Hardcore Holly. Another change to the thing. Tazz wins, and fairly cleanly. So we do that. I felt Tazz was majorly underutilized. So check out what I'm going to be doing here with Tazz. Number one contender for the tag team titles, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. Edge wins. Radicals, the six-man tag, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko versus Rikishi and Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexy, and Scotty Hottie. So, yeah, we do that. Chris Benoit makes Grandmaster tap out. It's that simple. No holds barred match, Kane versus X-Pac with Tori. Kane comes out triumphant. And, yeah, Kane wins. And then tombstones Tori after it. Reason being, Triple H is reason why there's no DX interference is during, let's say, hang on, after the Tazz Hardcore Holly match, we see Billy Gunn getting loaded into an ambulance, or getting taken to the hospital by Road Dogg. This sets up a future thing along the line too. So there's no Road Dogg and there's no Road Dogg, no Billy Gunn. Triple H is getting ready for his match, so it's only Tori that can really be there, and just useless. Still holding that championship belt as well. Okay. Stipulation for the next match is Big Show versus The Rock, and if Big Show wins, he gets added to the WrestleMania main event. This allows us to do other things in between time. I understand why they did things the way they did things. They wanted to make us think that The Rock wasn't going to be a part of WrestleMania, and everyone knew he was going to. Like, it wouldn't make sense if he wasn't. Okay? It was stupid. Well, not stupid, just not thinking things through. Same deal, except same deal as what happened. Same finish, same everything. It's just I needed. See, this is a lot of these little things ended up turning into big things, thus screwing shit up. Yeah. Hell in a Cell. WWF title. Triple H versus Cactus Jack. Triple H wins in this bloody brutal brawl that it was. And see, I don't know what to do after that. I don't know if it should have been a retirement angle or not. It could have been, and it would have worked. Okay. I'll get to how I would bring him back for the thing anyway. Light heavyweight title, S.A. Rios versus Dean Malenko. Light heavyweight title was back by this point, just barely. So S.A. was holding the belt. Other thing too is Dean Malenko gets the belt, and we do a thing with Radical's locker room. He just comes in, everyone celebrates with him. Yeah, big deal. I really did try. I wanted to do some cool stuff with the light heavyweight title this time around. Alright. Okay, so what's next? Well, it is the 8-man elimination match for the hardcore title. Make a big deal about this. First time in WrestleMania history. And it's a lot much simpler and a lot less aggravating than the hardcore brawl would have been. Okay, here's our participants. Tazz, Big Boss Man, Al Snow, Hardcore Holly, Crash Holly, of course, Viscera, Road Dogg, and Steven Richards. Crash has won the belt by this point. He's managed to get a whole bunch of victories. The 24/7 rule is not in place, but he is willing to accept. He's willing to accept any challenge from any competitor, and he's faced a lot of these guys. Not every single one. He's beaten Steven Richards. He's beaten Al Snow. By this point, I think I would have wanted Tazz his own little winning streak, but not to make a big deal out of it yet. Crash manages to. All right, we'll just run with what happens during the match at this point. Crash has pinned Steven Richards. Tazz makes Road Dogg tap out. Boss Man manages to pin Viscera after a double team of weapons. I don't know what I meant by that, but okay. Maybe a couple of chair shots, stuff like that. Hardcore pins Al Snow. Hardcore Holly hits a double team move on Tazz, thus eliminating him. Hardcore Holly pins Boss Man. So Hardcore Holly's got a bunch of victories. He's ready to celebrate, and then Crash comes in, bang, bang, hits, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Crash is victorious. Him and Crash and Hardcore have been sort of like teaming up during this as well. They wanted it to come down to the two of them, but Crash sneaks in, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, and yay! And thus we don't have the stupid thing afterwards. All right, 4-way for the number one contendership for the tag team titles. All right, so one of the big selling points for WrestleMania would have been that triple ladder match. All right, in my vision. The triangle ladder match. But I'm also I've got to think about what's coming ahead, what's coming in the next future Raws as well. So, also, we set up this. So we've got something booked for a future Raw or a future SmackDown. Because I would take a bunch of these guys off the thing. Alright, so we do this. We got TNA, Test and Albert with Trish taking on Too Cool, D'Lo Brown, also the team of D'Lo Brown and Godfather, as well as Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn. yeah, so Eddie manages to pin Scotty, thus ending that match. And we also get another victory celebration going on in the Radicals locker room. They're two for two. This is going to be Radicals night. All that's left is Chris Benoit to go in there, and they say he's going to win both belts. He's going to knock him down. And that Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys. Christian grabs the belt after that grueling triple ladder match. I love that match. It's one of the shining moments. One of the few shining moments at WrestleMania 2000. All right, here's a match I just threw together. All right, Rikishi was star on the rise. This young rookie Bull Buchanan comes out. He's gonna come out and be victorious. Yes, all right. So Bossman's booked in his match though. That left Bull sort of out on his own, and one of the final things that sort of happens is the two of these guys they kind of hook up in a rivalry because Bossman's been booked in his thing, Too Cool's doing their own thing. It's kind of left Rikishi out on his own, and they sort of managed to scrounge together and get these two to have a match. It's like one of the last matches announced for the show. It's like last SmackDown. It's like that one last match. Alright, so 3-way 2-fall match for the Intercontinental and European title match. European title. So Chris Benoit, same thing as what actually happened. Chris Benoit wins the IC title. Chris Jericho wins the European title. And you can do the thing where Kurt's not pinned, and thus, yeah, having that one thing he can claim to. Kane and Chyna taking on Dex, Pac, and Tori. This is just mixed tag to throw out there, kind of put the one the final nail in that rivalry between X-Pac and Kane. Not a big fan of it. I would have done some other stuff instead, but okay. There wasn't much else for Kane to do at the time. Alright, 4-way. The Rock, Big Show, Cactus Jack, and Triple H. Alright. Simple deal here. Rock is going to win the match. All right. The other thing too here is this would not end the same way. You could do a thing where Vince does try and interfere, does try to screw the Rock, and fails miserably, thus getting a rock bottom on Vince McMahon. We get that. Then we get the People's Elbow on Triple H, thus the Rock wins. All right, we got some time. I like to keep these to about 20 minutes, so we'll do Backlash now. We'll show you where everything's going. All right, European title. Chris Jericho has managed to hold on to that European belt a little bit longer than he actually did. I would prefer if he lost it on pay-per-view. And we get this match. Chris Jericho versus Eddie Guerrero. Chyna has already turned on him. That's what initially sets up this thing. Chyna screws Jericho in a match where... screws him in a tag match, or the number one contenders match that he has with him. Thus setting up this match, and yeah, we end up going down that Latino Heat road. It's really cool. But initially they were heels, and I understand that. Plus, we do some cool stuff here. Eddie wins, so yeah. Well, then we move on to the tag match. Despite Eddie and that don't beat Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian managed to hold on to the belts because they're going to take on X-Pac and Road Dogg. Edge pins Road Dogg after Christian hits him with the ring bell. Yeah, that's what actually happened on the pay-per-view, but that was originally the first match. So then we go on to Dean Malenko versus Scotty 2 Hotty. Sorry, I got to do something here. This thing is not happy when I write Malenko. Dean Malenko wins. We have a pretty good match there. Wouldn't change a thing about it. Alright, it's at TNA versus the Dudley Boyz. Same deal. We get that whole table thing. I love that rivalry. That last show where Trish and the table double entendres. It's really funny. Trish goes through a table after the Dudley Boyz win the match too. So yeah. Hardcore title, Crash Holly versus Hardcore Holly. Hardcore's pissed off after that match, so he says, Backlash, I want a rematch, and I want it for the belt. Maybe they even have a series of matches where Crash manages to keep on winning, and this is his last chance, but yeah, Crash ends up winning. Intercontinental title, Chris Benoit versus Kane. Chris Benoit wins with the flying headbutt. Kurt Angle versus the Big Show. Big Show wins, crushing Kurt Angle. It's good stuff there. Triple H versus The Rock. One pinfall to a finish. Straight up match, 1-on-1. The Rock wins. And yeah, too bad we couldn't have Austin as special guest referee with that. There's a couple of things still I would do differently. As far as the Jericho thing, I know people would want to bring that up. What I would have done that night is I would have heard the crowd reaction and would say, oh, well, okay, we're going to change things on the fly. But I wouldn't have done that in this world. I wouldn't have even had that actually happen. Maybe. But then again, you see, because I couldn't have that happen because Rock's my champion. He's going to have a little bit of a run here. Triple H is going to interrupt it, and yeah, maybe. Because, yeah, we're going to end things off here. Stay tuned, because I'm going to record all these tonight and have them up to you over the next couple of days. Alright, see ya.